I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And any comments and statements from anybody to start off? No? Okay. So we'll get right to the informational agenda. Is there a student rep here tonight?
No.
There is not. Okay, thank you. So item B, update on the Destination Imagination. Mr. Simonello?
I'm just going to stand this down.
Sure.
We had gotten a grant from the Westport Education Foundation to run Destination Imagination. We had 5 teams in the elementary, the middle school, and we had one 5th grade team, and then 4 teams throughout 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. This is one particular team. They actually had more members, but the whole team couldn't show up, and their leader, Mrs. Mendonca. Every team had a manager. The grant money that was given to us by the Education Foundation paid to be part of Destination Imagination, got the challenges that they all worked on. Then the idea was that they would go to a competition, they would solve the problem, they would go to the competition and whatnot. We started fairly late in the process. They worked very diligently on their problem, and unfortunately they didn't go to the competition. They didn't feel that they'd be ready or not, but they enjoyed it. And girls, I don't know if you want to say anything about your time working on the problem or anything.
I think it was fun, and we were able to use our problem-solving skills, and we got to work with other kids our age. So we got to, basically that. It was fun.
Did you enjoy it too?
What was the question or the problem that you had? Can you explain what it was?
Well, we had to make a teamwork structure under 20 grams or something, and we had to also incorporate like a little skit type of thing where that used or not necessarily used, but you had to have something like a prop.
When you get the problem, there are very specific guidelines that the kids have to go on and have to follow. So, the under 20 grams, they had to come up with a skit. I think there was a sideshow somehow also in the show that you had to do using certain things, and everything has to be child-driven. The ideas come from the kids, the skit comes from the kids, everything that's made has to be kid-made. The leader really is just there, I don't want to say babysitting, but that's really what they're doing. They're watching the kids, making sure that they're following along with the qualifications and things that they have to do, making sure nobody gets hurt. If the kids have a problem, like for example, if they want to put these 2 pieces of metal together and they don't know how to weld, obviously, the manager would look for somebody who could teach them how to weld and help them with it. And that's really what the manager's job was throughout it. So, and every team had a manager, some more successful than others. I think some teams, we had a team of 8th grade girls who really did enjoy what they were doing. They were very animated about it, and they thoroughly enjoyed the whole ordeal.
Does Destination Imagination have, it's a actual group, if I understand correct?
It's a worldwide organization, yeah.
Do they have a timeline that they are expecting things to get done by the kids? And if so, What is the timeline?
The only timeline is that whenever you sign up for Destination Imagination, they already have the date that you will be going to the challenge and going to the competition. For example, our date was initially March 17th, I think, and then they bumped it up 1 week to March 12th on us, which is another reason why a lot of the groups said, that's too soon. We had no control over that. It was Westport, you're in Region 9, now you're in Region 8. So we were originally going down to Dennis Yarmouth. I think the last part we were going up Rainham maybe somewhere. And that's really the only guidelines that they have.
So who decided that the kids didn't go? Was
They
it,
did.
it was the kids that decided that they didn't want to? Why didn't you guys want to do it?
Well, I think we didn't have, we didn't have half the stuffs, or they weren't ready, and we couldn't get it all together. Like, we couldn't all get together on one day and do everything. I mean, we tried, but it didn't.
What do you mean on one day? You mean at the competition?
No, not at the competition, but like one day during the week or something where we could get together and get everything straightened out and performed, or not necessarily performed, but practiced. And
They had a lot of time after school that they would work on it. And because we started so late, they were kind of under the gun to get it done. We probably had 2 months, 3 months in which to do it totally. And it really is more. Usually, like if we were to do this again, which I would like to do it again next year, and I think a lot of the kids had spoken about that they want to do it again next year. Really, I'd like to start in October, which is when the challenges come out. So, I want to say there's probably approximately 5 or 6 challenges you guys could choose from. Do you remember?
yeah.
It was somewhere around there, and they chose that particular one. So,
And I will say that it was very hard for them to make the decision not to go. They really wanted to go, they were willing to go with part of it missing and get points deducted, but then when it came to the final moment, they realized that it really wasn't going to be a complete package, and also part of the team couldn't go that day. And so it was a tough decision for them, because they really worked hard and they tried to get to that point.
the experience of going to the competition is great, but the real Destination Imagination is really what they took part in working out the problem, working as a team, trying to use their creative problem-solving skills and coming to solutions. So.
Okay. Mike, you were first, and then Ed.
Yeah, I just appreciate you coming forward and representing your group of classmates in what appears to be a new, fun project in learning. How many students in total?
Well, if we had 5 teams, each team was about 6 or 7 kids, some much less. It's about 35 students that were.
And I want to thank you, ladies, for your presentation. What I'm hearing is you learned quite a bit. You learned how to make tough decisions. I think you also had a little bit of fun through the process. Was it you did enjoy it? That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Did any of the teams? None of them, so they all made the same decision, okay.
Yeah, at different times. At different times, they said, that's just not ready. We don't have this. We can't all. And what she was saying, trying to get all together, you do need a couple Saturdays just to meet as a group in somebody's house, just to get everything together, practice it. When I did it at the elementary school, that's exactly what we had done, and the teams practiced it, and they really wanted to be, they didn't want to go and not have a decent showing there, so.
Is this grant going to happen again next year to where you
I'll
can start
apply for
earlier?
it next
Okay.
year again, so.
It came-
It's well worthwhile.
It is really great project.
You done, Eric? Yes?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Whoever- Go ahead.
How many times did you guys actually meet?
Like at someone's house or.
Well, to work at any place, anytime, just to work on the project.
Well, it was every Monday, and we met once over February vacation and one Thursday at my house, and it was just me and Haley. And then I'd say probably for about 2 months, or 2 or 3 months, 2.5 probably, we met every Monday for about an hour.